Welcome back to the New Mexico State Aggies Dynasty. We wrap up the season today in our bowl game in the Frisco Bowl versus the USF Bulls. The Bulls come in with an 8-4 record during the regular season, looking to cap off their season with the win versus the Pac-12 champions and the number 23 ranked Aggies. The action kicks off midway through the first quarter. Parker Watt's going to fake a handoff and try to throw a quick screen, but it's picked off by cornerback Chasen Johnson, who read the play perfectly. Bulls take over at the 32-yard line. Aggies defense doesn't break though, only allowing 1 yard on the drive so far, and on third down, Marcus Tate's going to tee it up for the end zone, but Neat Mitchell breaks up the pass to force a field goal. Bulls get 3 off the turnover. Aggies following drive, Awad's going to find Caden Trevino for 23 yards to convert on a 3rd and long. On the following play, Awad's checking the play, he drops back to pass. He's going to see green, and he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to pick up big yardage as he gets the ball all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Later on 3rd and 6, Awad's going to try to convert through the air, but the Bulls defense converges on him. Linebacker Devin Beard strips him of the ball, but it's recovered by Deshaun Humphreys, and the Aggies are forced to settle for 3. Kicking from the 38 in the right hash, Joey's going to get this one booed. It's online, but he actually comes up short, and the Aggies get nothing on this drive. Score remains 3-0. Bulls drive now. Quarterback Marcus Tate's going to fake the handoff to Alvin Isaac, and he's going to look and throw the ball wide open to Brandon Winton, who picks up huge yardage getting into the red zone. On the very next play, Isaac does get the handoff, and he's going to punch it in for a touchdown, and the Bulls are going to extend their lead 10-0. Second quarter now, facing a 3rd and 15, Awad's changing the play. He drops back to pass, but he gets no time to throw, and he's sacked by defensive end Aston Mosley to force a punt. Bulls drive up 10. Tate's going to play fake, and he's going to thread the needle on a throw here to Angel Bannon for another big gain and a first down. Now facing a 3rd and 6 from the 27. Tate takes the quick snap, and he's going to throw it quickly to Winston, but he ends up losing momentum and getting pushed backwards and can't convert the first down. Bulls get 3 more. Aggies now 13, facing a 3rd and 3. Awad's going to scramble to the right side, and he finds Isaiah Wright wide open for a huge gain as they get the offense rolling. After the big play, the Aggies drive all the way down to the goal line, and this sets up this 4-yard touchdown run for Deshaun Humphreys as the Aggies finally get on the board down 13-7. Third quarter now with the 9-minute mark. Awad's going to fake the handoff and throw a bubble screen to Adrian Manley, who gets solid blocking downfield and picks up a big gain. Later on 1st and 10 from the 26, Awad's going to get enough time to throw, and he's going to find Isaiah Wright to clear the defense, throws a strike, and White's going to find the end zone for another touchdown, and the Aggies take their first lead of the game, 14-13. Later on in the third, Bulls set up for a long field goal, but they're going to actually pull this one up, and they're going to look to throw it downfield, and that's caught by offensive tackle Braden Carter, who turns it upfield for a touchdown. Absolute dime by backup quarterback Melo Stavant as the Aggies special teams caught off guard and can't break up the play. Aggies now reeling after the big play, down 21-14. On 3rd and 4, Awad's going to throw this one into traffic and is picked off by cornerback Jarvis Lee, who made an absolute miraculous catch on this one. Bulls end up driving downfield, and on 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line, Tate pitches it to halfback Markel Johnson, who follows the convoy on his way to a touchdown, and the Bulls extend their lead to 2 touchdowns, 28-14. Now down 2 scores with 7 minutes to play, the Aggies have to go fast. They start the drive with a quick throw to Trevino. He's going to pick up some blocking, and he's going to get some nice yardage. First down to the 33-yard line. But on 4th and 6, they're going to try to throw it short, and Adrian Manley gets stopped short, and that's a turnover on downs. Bulls get the ball back. However, the Aggies defense does keep them in the game. Facing a 3rd down, they're going to bring the blitz, and Tate is sacked, forcing a punt back to the Aggies offense. Facing a 4th and 17 from 31-yard line, Caden Trevino is going to run right up the seam, and Awad finds him to extend the drive. Now on a 30-yard line, Awad's going to look to throw this up the middle, and it's picked off by linebacker Xavier Hamilton. He breaks it upfield, and he's in the clear. He's going to take those from 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown, USF Bulls. Electric defensive play to cap this one off, and he puts the Aggies to sleep with a miraculous defensive play there, and that ultimately is the end of it. 35-14, absolutely disappointing performance in the bowl game as the season's end on an L for the Aggies. 35-14 was the final score, and Hamilton ended up being MVP of the game after that game-sealing pick six. Now that the season is all wrapped up, the Aggies do end the season on a low note, and it's time for them to do some soul-searching in this offseason. They won back-to-back Pac-12 titles, but have been unable to win a bowl game so far. The defense has dominated, but the offense has left a lot to desire. They now have two award-winning pass rushers on the defensive line in Malachi Tayase and DJ Warner. They've also got some really good defensive backs in the secondaries, with their corners being able to make some plays and get their hands on the ball to force turnovers and get interceptions. But again, the offense hasn't been able to capitalize and have left a lot on the field. While they did have a few award winners this season, unfortunately, they didn't get any recognition when it came to All-Americans. They had 0 players, that's right, 0 players make the All-American national team. That also included the freshman team. However, they did have a number of Pac-12 All-Americans, including offensive linemen Akeem Maples and Ashton Tripp, safety Colt Mangino, and Freddie Joya, kicker Freddie Joya, all making the Pac-12 first team. The second teamers included Deshaun Humphreys, who had a sophomore slump, star defensive end Malachi Tayase, and the freshman team featured halfback Rashawn Chance and defensive ends Eric Karlaftis and Juan Hopes. Lastly, Tyler Estrella rounded out the freshman All-Americans for the Aggies this year. Taking a look at the team stats, going into the bowl season, Parker Watt had 2,798 yards. He had a 69 completion percentage with 19 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. As we all know, the interceptions was the big story this year. Deshaun Humphreys, once again, had a kind of a down season with only 715 yards and 5 touchdowns. Noah Triplett had 466 yards and 4 touchdowns. Parker Watt added 351 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns himself. And short yardage batch, Rashawn Chance had 148 yards on 3.8 average and 1 touchdown. The receiving stats, Isaiah Wright led the team in receiving with 733 yards. Caden Trevino had 712. Isaiah Bita, who also had a down year, had 410. Deshaun Humphreys added 273. And tight end Jordan Lydiot added 224. Adrian Manley was actually surprisingly pretty solid in this few snaps with 217 yards himself. Caden Trevino led the team in receiving touchdowns with 9. Isaiah Wright added 3 of his own, and Lydiot added 4. The offensive line was kind of solid, but Kai Wheeler definitely struggled at the left tackle position, allowing 8 sacks on the year. I think a lot of that had to do with scheming, as he is our highest rated left tackle, but again, 8 is way too much. Defensive side of the ball, that's where the team really shined. Brown had 83 tackles. Adrian Carline added 80 himself. Colt Mangino had 70. Freshman Tyler Estrella had 40-something. DJ Warner and Tayase both had 20 tackles for loss. Jalen Brown added 14, and Carlisle added 12. DJ Warner led the team in sacks as the transfers added 11.5 sacks on the year. Tayase had a down year compared to last year, but he did have 20 sacks last year. He came back with 10.5 this year. Elijah Baldwin, the other transfer we brought in, had 8 sacks, and defensive tackle Dre Sanders added 5 sacks, and Jamie Pope added 4 of himself. Interceptions. Once again, our defensive backs really were ball hawks this year, as Jacoby Campbell added 6 interceptions. Neaton Mitchell had 4, Joshua Eaton had 2, and Jalen Brown, the linebacker, had 1 of himself. And in looking at the fumble recoveries, we had 2 for forced fumbles. We had 2 for Brown, 2 from Sanders. And in defensive touchdowns, we had 1 from DJ Warner, 1 from Neaton Mitchell, and 1 for Tayase. The team stats now, looking at the offense were pretty bad. We were the worst offense in the Pac-12 as far as passing yards, but we had the number 1 rushing offense with 1,600 yards. We're about middle in the pack in scoring. Passing touchdowns, we were the worst in the conference, and rushing touchdowns, we were number 1. So we kind of see the trend here. Passing, we were really bad. Rushing, we were actually really good. Defensive side of the ball, once again, the team absolutely was outstanding. We were the top-ranked defense stats-wise for the conference, both in yardage. We were second in points allowed, number 1 in sacks by a very large margin. We were bottom half of the league in fumble recoveries, but we were second in the conference in interceptions. Well, taking a look to see how this team stacked up against the national, against all the teams in the league, in the country, we had the top-ranked defense as far as total yardage, only allowing 3,344 yards. We were about 18 or so yardage ahead of the number 2 team in Ball State. We were the top-ranked rush defense in terms of yardage by a very wide margin. Passing defense, we're pretty much about middle of the country, allowing 2,700 yards, but still a really good defense overall. And we had the number 1 defense as far as sacks with 50, and we were kind of bottom of the country as far as turnovers. So that wraps up Season 2. Once again, we are Pac-12 champions, but we do lose in the bowl game. If you're looking forward to what's to come here, please consider hitting that like button. Thank you, and see you guys next time.